This has been peppered in throughout our class in September. There's the requirement, of course, to have the APA book and other things along the way, but I'm going to just do a general overview about APA formatting, why it's a critical aspect of academic writing, and how important it is, especially to your thesis. So, again, APA format is the standard for it's the standard style for use in areas in the social sciences like counseling, and understanding and correctly applying APA format just ensures clarity, consistency, and credibility in your research. So our goal today is for me to help you navigate APA formatting confidently, and I'm going to cover some essential formatting rules, thesis structure again, in-text citation, reference lists, and writing style guidelines. So I'm hoping you'll feel a little bit more comfortable applying these concepts to your thesis writing after tonight. APA formatting, as you know, has very strict requirements for fonts, margins, spacing, and alignment. So we covered this in the beginning of the semester with the video you watched, but make sure to use a professional font such as Times New Roman 12, Arial 11, or Calibri 11. Double spacing should be maintained throughout your document with 1-inch margins on all sides. Your paragraphs should be left aligned with a 0.5-inch first line indent. And lastly, your title page, which we've gone over numerous times, should include essential details like your paper's title, your name, the institution, the course, the instructor, meaning my name, and the due date. So this is a standard structure for a thesis written in APA format. No surprises here, something we've talked about for a while. Each section again has a specific purpose. Reference last week's chart if you're not clear about what that is. The abstract summarizes the study, while the introduction presents the research problem and significance. The literature review situates your study within existing research, and the methodology explains how your study was conducted. The results presents findings, the discussion interprets them, and the conclusion wraps up the study. Finally, references must be formatted according to APA guidelines, and any additional materials can be placed in appendices. Um, a friend of mine suggested this as something that she does in her classes that she finds very helpful. She literally takes a rubric and she plops it in to create her outline. And I was thinking about how that chart from last week, could really, in a sense, be your outline for each of your sections. If you just like plop what's in each section into your own writing. That way, you're hitting the targets, if that makes sense. We can talk about that in a second. So in-text citations are used to give credit to sources within your paper. So when paraphrasing, you want to simply include the author's last name and year of publication. Okay, so Smith, comma, 2020. If you're using a direct quote, also include the page number. So Jones, comma, 2020, page 45. For sources with multiple authors, use an ampersand for two authors, such as Smith and Jones, comma, 2022. So for three or more authors, use et al. After the first author's name, like this, as you see below, Garcia, or my below, Garcia et al. 2023. The reference page, you've all done this, lists all sources cited in your paper, so you want to make sure you're arranging entries alphabetically by the first author's last name. So use a hanging indent, meaning the first line is flush left and all subsequent lines are indented. I know this is maddening. This is the kind of stuff that I find maddening, but it is what it is, right? So here are two examples, one from a book and another from a journal article. So you want to pay close attention to punctuation and formatting. Tables and figures not required, but should you have them, should be labeled sequentially, such as table 1 or figure 1. Table titles appear above while figure titles appear below. Ensure tables and figures provide meaningful data that enhance your paper. If you're using data from another source, be sure to cite it properly. So let's avoid some common APA mistakes. Many students struggle with formatting citations correctly, forgetting to use hanging indents, or relying too much on direct quotes. Be sure to paraphrase whenever possible and check that your citations and references match. So APA writing should be formal and objective. Avoid using biased language and only use first person pronouns when referring to your own research. Also, avoid contractions, so use do not instead of don't. I covered this before, but I'm being repetitive just because. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit more in a sec.